Very good evening to all fellow Singaporeans here. And also especially to the Bishan-Toa residents living here. Tonight, I want to talk about three matters. One is something that you're all very concerned about. National issues like cost of living, housing. Two is about what we as MPs will do for you if you elect us. And three, and I want to tell you about the seriousness of this vote. Why is it important for you? In the last 8 days, you have heard the opposition talk about many things. Some talk about alternative voices. Some said that the government must be accountable. Let me tell you this. The government is accountable. But the government is not accountable to the opposition. It is accountable to the people. Now, even in this election, if they did not get enough seats, there will at least be 9 opposition members, because the government created or changed the rules to allow at least 9 opposition members to sit in parliament, whether as elected MPs or as non-constituency MPs. So you can see that if they want a voice, they will have a voice in parliament, and there will at least be 9 of them. Having been in government for 27 years, I can also tell you this. The government is not perfect. No, by no means. The government can make mistakes. And when something happens, the government will admit the responsibility and find out what goes wrong so that we will not repeat those mistakes again. That is why every 5 years we come back to the people and account to the people about what we do. If the government is not accountable, do you think that at every election the PAP will be re-elected? Definitely the PAP will be thrown out long ago. But the people continue to have faith in us. What we have not heard from the opposition is important matters about our future, about important matters of what do you do with our current problems and our future problems. The current problems like cost of living, like housing. What plans do they have to reduce the cost of living? Have you heard any? No. The SPP team has no idea what to do for you. We are in an expectation of what our team will do for you for the next 5 years. We had an exhibition on the 3rd of April just in Toa Payoh Central. The chairman happened to walk by when we left, and he looked around and said, not bad. If they were elected, they will adopt our plan. Well, I think it's quite a flattery that they think our plan is good and they want to adopt it. But let me tell you this. These are our plans which took a long time to come up with. We plan and then we improve every year. What do you know of the SPP team? Well, I know from newspapers that they were only formed just about 2 months ago. 2 months. And in 2 months, they think they know enough about you, about your problems, and about what they can do for you. Well, really, I leave you to judge whether they can do this or not. Well, when they say, in fact, one of the SPP candidates said, when he was asked, what do you plan to do for us? Well, he said, we are only, and I quote him, we are only at the beginning stage of the election. When the election is over and we are properly set up, when we are properly set up, which means they are not at this time, we will produce all the ideas. So what does it mean? It means we have got no idea now, but vote for me, then let me think of something. That is what they say they will do for you. I will leave you to judge. Now, for us, we have been around here for a long time. We know your problem, and definitely you know that we have delivered promises, which we have made. Mirzai has just mentioned it. I know that in this election, Singaporeans are excited to vote. You, living in Bishan-Toa Payoh, GLC, are also excited to vote. And I can tell you that I'm also very excited to take part in this election. My last contest was in 1984. And I did my first rally in the morning in front of the Block 127 market. I think you know where it is. If you live in Toa Payoh or if you have shopped in Toa Payoh. 127 market. We had the two lorries parked together and we were standing there making speeches. So people came to listen to us. I was a rookie at the time. And since then, although I've not contested, I've spoken in many GE rallies. Every term since 1988. And now I'm speaking here before you, telling you what we will do for you as a government and as your candidate. I'll tell you that there is no right or wrong way to vote. No. You will decide what this means for you, what the vote means for you. But it can be based on the party, it can be based on their ideals, it can be based on the personality, it can be based on the team, or it can be based on the team's plan. Right way, wrong way, you think. You think about some of these ideas. But there is a wise or dangerous way to vote. You want to vote in a wise way or dangerous way? Well, you've got to decide in 2 days' time. And what is the wise way? The wise way is the simplest way to best way to vote for the team that can best take care of you, your state, and your future. That is a wise way. What is the dangerous way? Dangerous way is you think you can vote for the opposition, then other people can vote for the PAP. Well, if you do that, and when enough of people think like you, vote for the opposition for himself, and let other people vote for the PAP, then on the 8th, maybe on the same night, on the 7th, after the count, you can wake up to a very different place. You can wake up to the fact that there will be a new team in charge. Now that, I can tell you, is a dangerous way to vote. But I know that, and I have faith in you, that you can vote wisely.
Yeah, we are voting for you.
Thank you. Thank you. So far, Singapore has done well. Why is that so? Because we have a strong leadership, we have good policies, we have supportive people like you. That's why we have done well. You have a good leadership also because, well, we can deal with any crisis that confront us. We have been through many crises. How? I will tell you too that in the last 40 years, people did not think that we could succeed, and we have. And they call Singapore a miracle. To achieve what we have today, many generations of Singaporeans, your parents, your grandparents, contributed to make Singapore what it is today. I want to thank them for it. And now, young Singaporeans too are playing their part to contribute to Singapore's success. And they will make a good contribution. Personally, I'm optimistic about Singapore's future. I think we have a great future. We can prevail against all odds. When we are united, in one heart, one mind, we can overcome all kinds of odds. If you remember, not too long ago, just barely 2 years, slightly more than 2 years ago, we were confronted with a very serious crisis. What was the crisis? There's a Lehman Brothers failing. And when they declared bankrupt, many people were hurt, including Singaporeans, people like you who have invested in such financial bonds or financial instruments. You have been hurt. And at a time, not many Singaporeans know this. Just a few days ago, a friend of mine, my friend, I call him Andy. I mean, he has a real name, of course, but because he works in a big firm, big public accounting firm, I should just call him Andy. He told me that, Mr. Wong, really, Singaporeans were at great risk of losing their jobs at the end of 2008 and 2009. Because when the Lehman Brothers crisis happened, he was called up by a CEO of a foreign company, and he told him, Andy, can you please look at my accounts, look at my financial statements, see how we can work it out so that I can deal with my problem. And what was the company's problem? The company's problem was they need to cut costs in order to save the company. So how to cut costs? He produced Andy a long list of names of staff to retrench, to sack. Andy looked at that and he recognized quite a few names. And among the names were some very senior people in the company. After looking at that, he went back and said he would talk to his company and he'll work out something. The moment he left office, he met the staff outside the office, and among one of them was a very senior man at the top of the list. He did not know that he was going to lose his job. All those people outside the office did not know that they were going to lose their job. And that was just before Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year was towards the later part of January or early February. When he went back to office, he and his colleagues discussed this issue. His colleagues told him the same thing. They've all been to see the CEOs of the company and they all wanted to cut costs. To cut costs means to retrench staff. So Andy couldn't sleep for quite a while. It was a very sobering experience for him, and it was very stressful. When Finance Minister and the government advanced the budget to January, there was this package called the Resilience Package that have 4.5 billion Sing dollars to help Singaporeans save their jobs, to help companies save their operation. Secondly, there were also other programs to help businesses to keep their cash flow going. So you see that indeed this resilience package saved thousands and thousands of jobs. And many Singaporeans, even when they're working at a time, they're very worried that they may lose their job. So the CEO of the company, he called up Andy, told him, and he said, we did not expect something like the resilience package. The government has been very creative and have thought out of the box and have saved many companies and saved many Singaporeans out of employment. I think that is what we will do for people.